Hello everybody, my name is Matipedza Tigere. I'm originally from Zimbabwe. I'm a father of three. Uh, my kids got two girls and one boy who's about 19 years old now. Actually, I'm blessed with a happy family. My wife and I have been married for 20 years now. So basically, that's what about my family. Um, I started working at Jabulani with the elephant herd. That was 2005 July up to date. So been employed at Jabulani for quite a while now. I think it's 15 years, if it's not mistaken. So I really enjoy elephants, but I've been working with the elephants in total 25 years. Also started from Zimbabwe. So basically, this is all I know about working. It's all about elephants. I've been working with the elephants the rest of my life since I was a boy. So to me, elephants are more likely a family.
And which elephants in the herd do you identify with?
I really like Jabulani in most cases, due to the fact that his history, what he went through, remind me very much of my past. The fact that you grow up with that family, it's a bit challenging. So when I see him and look at myself, I'm like proud, being a man who has responsibilities, and also the fact that how we made it, from then up to now, it's amazing. Yes, I lost my parents when I was very, very young. And then later on, my brother died. So it was just me and my young brother at the age of 14. So since then, it was like an experience, raising a young man. And I was also young at that point. So it was an experience that actually taught me a lot throughout life.
And your brother, where is he?
My brother is still back in Zim, where he's also doing, party jobs here and there, looking after his family as well. But he's doing pretty well.
And then, did you always love animals? Did you ever, when was your first introduction? How was you introduced to elephants?
In the beginnings, I worked as a general worker for a couple of years. But where I grew up, they had cattle, they had horses, all I could see is animals like horses and cattle, I never had much about elephants, growing up in a society where people believes that elephants are dangerous, so it's something that we never thought of, or I never thought of being an elephant carer one day. But that was 1998 when I started. As a young man, I thought like, wow, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it, because it was quite new, and I was very young. So my thoughts were very, very, doubtful. Like, wow, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it. But due to the fact that we had, other people like Joshua, Liverson, Stavros, Israel, they kept on teaching us how you should handle an elephant, what you must do, what you mustn't do, and stuff like that. Then later on, I realized like, wow, wait a minute, this is so, interesting. There was so much funny at young age, having elephant, talking to them and going out, all this kind of stuff. So I started falling in love slowly, and then realized like, wow, I think this is my destiny. And then, I was happy to be part of the whole thing with the elephants until then.
Did you work with horses as well, or not?
By the time I used to help when they needed hands. here and there. Because I was still young, I couldn't be employed permanently, so I could help here and there because the law didn't want, young people to be fully employed. So I could do pieceworks, helping, maybe rounding up the cattle to the deep tank and back, or sometimes feeding the horses and stuff like that.
Okay. What time is the best time of the day for you with the elephants?
Well, I don't really have a best time because every minute for me is amazing. Being with elephants is just a blessing. At some point it brings me peace of mind. Just sitting in the bush, watching elephants doing their own things, and also how they, help each other, how they protect each other, how they, the love that they have towards each other. It's always amazing how they teach us those kind of stuff. So for me, I don't have a special time I can say, well, I love this time or the specific time, so every time for me is like amazing. As long as I'm around the elephants, I'm happy.
What does Kanisa mean for you, to you?
Kanisa became, highlight for everybody. Especially for me, I see the meaning of being a human being with passion, when it comes to young elephants. So Kanisa, we look at her when she arrived, she was young, with wounds and all this kind of stuff. I could, remember all she went through. Sometimes it breaks my heart in terms of, how such a human being do such things to a poor young elephant like that. But how she successfully, settled down within Jabulani Herd is also amazing. But for me, Kanisa means everything. I mean everything in terms of life, because she brought joy to everybody. We have a bunch of followers, loves her, carers, loves her, the fact that she's also an albino elephant. You look at her, you see this pink color appearing, it's just like, it makes you smile, she looks a bit different from the others, and also you feel like, wow, look at that, So that also brings joy to everybody. So Kanisa means everything to each one of us.
I think also, sorry, back to Kanisa, I think during the time of lockdown, we, just kind of survived for her. She took all our energy in order to be positive,
Yes.
and took away our thoughts, on what is really going on in lockdown. Because, she brought the joy in.
Exactly. During the lockdown, it was difficult for everybody. Everybody was like, we were like drowning. But we had some people who were in the hospitals, laying on the bed. But when they started seeing the videos of the little albino Kanisa elephant, we have so many people admitting that they went through the lockdown, they made it through because of that little albino elephant. So it means a lot to the world that she's here now with the herd, and how many people survived because of her. That kind of thing is just amazing. For 15 years that I've been working with these guys, I've witnessed a lot of stuff. The other morning I was out in the bush, like I'm sitting there, as I was just sitting there, then Limpopo is from, she's a daughter to Tokwe, which is the matriarch of the herd. She picked up a piece of a log, and then I'm sitting there, I'm like wondering what is she's gonna do with this dead stick. Anyway, it's not like she's gonna eat it. And then suddenly she started scratching herself with that piece of a log. She amazed me, like how she thought of using a stick to scratch herself. I'm like, oh my God, look at that, So those are some of the moments that I always remember. Mostly when I'm out, elephants feeding, I really enjoy the moments because they, I see a lot of things happen with elephants. Sometimes some of those things are not even written in the books. So I really like observing in most cases, like watching elephants, how do they do stuff, how they do with certain things or deal with certain situations. So those are some of my special moments I really love to witness. That also teaches me a lot.
Is there any of the team members that you're all very close to, of the staff?
Some of these guys, yeah, I grew up with them. We from same area, but I've got no relatives at the moment. But I take them as brothers. The fact that we grew up in same areas, we grew up with them, and then I know them from young age, So for me, I mean, it's like they are brothers to me.
Okay, that's good. What did you learn from the elephants, and about nature as well?
Well, there's a lot that I learned from the elephants in terms of, how we should care for each other, how we should help each other, how we should hold every one of us hands when they need the most. The elephants does that. For example, how, Tokwe, Lundi, they accept the orphans elephants and take care of them. That's one of the lessons that I always, admire, like, wow, look at that. They know that this young elephant needs help, and they accepted the young elephants into their lives. So that's a big lesson, that each one of us should learn in terms of, we mustn't look at each other, the other side of the story. So we need to be there for each other. We need to help each other. Just do what's right. So that's one of the big lessons that I learned from the elephants. They help each other. They care for each other.
And something else in nature?
Well, nature is always amazing. It's always amazing. I mean, if you take a look at the elephants, they are huge, very strong. But how they respond to humans, how they associate themselves with us as humans, it's always amazing how nature can do that, because if you take a look at the elephants, like they're amazing, they're strong, we're nothing when it comes to their strength. But how are we able to work with them every day? How are we able to associate with them when we go out in the bush, we see lions and they protect us and stuff like that? So nature for me is amazing, when you see these things happening. It's just, I think we just need to be thankful that everything has a meaning out there. Every single thing plays a role in our lives, in terms of elephants, how they fertilize, the soil with the dungs, how they knock down trees, and the trees will obviously form a macro environment for other species. We're talking about lizards, we're talking about centipedes and other bugs as well. So it's all about, a one life cycle, and then everybody is benefiting from everyone, So I see nature as a very important thing that we should look after as humans.
Okay, so what makes elephants amazing?
Well, elephants are amazing in their nature, what their capabilities, what they're able to do. It's amazing. I think people, they do underestimate them, but I mean, for a very long time I've been working with them. I've seen a lot happening. So for me, I have no doubt that they are quite intelligent animals. How they can figure out to solve problems if they have one. How they're able to use certain tools, for example, knocking down a tree over a fence, electrified fence, so that they can pave way out, those kind of things. So elephants are really amazing in terms of their intelligence. They're very, very intelligent.
And how have you been seeing the elephants in the herd grow and change over the years?
Well, it's amazing. They've been growing like all the 5 young ones that we have within our herd. They were born during my presence. So watching them growing up to an extent that even now I can't believe, all these years. I mean, it's amazing the fact that there's a lot of effort that was also put from the owners. I'm talking about Adine Roode, as well as her mother, Tigere Roode. They did a lot as well, helping out these animals for us to be able to witness themselves growing, and then also having babies among themselves. It's a good sign that they are in a good environment, that they are taken care of. And also you find out that it's amazing, like you have a baby sister, and then suddenly you can't call her a baby anymore because she's grown up, she has her own family, and you feel like, wow, must I say a baby? Or so that kind of thing. So it's a wonderful feeling, when you're surrounded with these things. I mean, for everybody of us, we really thankful being part of Jabulani Herd. And then we also thankful to the owners, like Adine, the owner of Herd, the founder of Herd. She did so many for us to be here and for the elephants as well. So we very, very much appreciate the effort.